What is good, everybody? What's popping? I know it's been a little minute, so I wanted to get up on here, man. We got some crazy, exciting news that just happened, so I wanted to get on here and make a quick video about that because that is crazy in itself, and we're gonna get into that in a second. But man, I wanted to get on here because man, a couple weeks ago, man, people was out here having a conversation about the top 10 NFL quarterbacks, and I was like, bro, they are mad disrespectful. But we're gonna go through the list real quick. We got number one being Pat Holmes, understandably. Number two being Josh Allen. We got Joe Burrow being number three. We got Lamar Jackson being number four. And I should have started at 10. But we got Lamar at number four. And then this is where it gets kind of like, huh? Like, what? But we got Jaden Daniels at number five, right? Then we got Matthew at number six. Then we got J Herb at number seven. And then we got Jared Goff at number eight. Then we got Jalen Hurts at number nine. Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl reigning champion. Number nine. Then we got Baker Mayfield at number 10. I just find that to be crazy to me because if Pat Holmes is the guy right now, if Pat Holmes is the man to beat, he beat him. And even when they lost, he won the battle. And both times he won the battle. I feel like everybody has said that, everybody agrees, but like I feel like he just is constantly still getting disrespected. And I just don't understand. Because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna punish a quarterback for having a good defense, for having a good draft, for having a good GM, having a good coach. Like I'm a UGA fan. What have the Eagles done every single year since that championship team that Georgia had? They have drafted a Georgia defensive player every year, and I think they took two one year. They took two one year, I think. They always take about one or two per draft. So at the end of the day, they pretty much just getting the same. They getting the same kids who then won that championship, and they just put them all on the same team. So they already got chemistry out the wazoo, and that's not Jalen Hurts' fault. That the defense is stacked out the wazoo, and then you have weapons that your team like. And at the end of the day, remember, Jalen Brown. I mean, not Jalen Brown. AJ Brown had his problems and stuff like that with supposedly Jalen Hurts. They had to get through those bumps and stuff like that. Like everything ain't perfect over there. So he going through all this stuff. A different coordinator every year. I think that he's played for them every year and has pretty much been in a winning position every year. And you're telling me that he's not at least top five. I feel like he top five personally. Matthew, he getting old. So on when it comes down to Matthew, I feel like he right there at number six because it's been what 2-3 years since he won this championship, and he getting up there in age. Back problems and all that stuff. That makes sense. Number six. But I think like the major problem for me comes with the Jaden Daniels at number five. To me, I can't put him at number five because he has not been in the league that long, and I understand like if a quarterback comes in like has a great year like off the rip, he's top five, supposed to be in the league. But when we having a conversation of two-time MVP, a Super Bowl appearance, an MVP, and AFC appearances, and then we talking about a three-time champion. Like that's a hard room to even have a conversation in right there. That's a whole different area. And then you literally have Jalen Hurts, who is literally in that same conversation, and he's won. I'm sorry, you have to slot him in at. He has to be number five. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's like and to me, it makes no sense. It's literally like I don't know. I don't know. I can't explain it to you, but to me, that's probably my only flaw. I feel like Jaden Daniels is definitely going to be a top 10, a top 5 quarterback by maybe 3 years down the line. I feel like it's going to take him because they got to fix that defense. It's not really on him, and we'll get into a little something later on, but at the end of the day, like they have some problems that they need to fix before I feel like that he's gonna be able to beat Jalen Hurts, unless that team ends up breaking up. Baker Mayfield being at number 10, I feel like they're definitely giving him his flowers, his respects. That's is crazy to see how what happened with him with the Browns, and then now seeing where he is right now, he's winning with the Bucks and stuff like that. I'm not happy that he's winning with the Bucks, but at the end of the day, it is nice to see that you could go from one team that didn't really have the best experience or you didn't have the best experience with, and you can go to another team and make something happen. You know what I mean? Jared Goff too. Even though Jared Goff he been there and stuff like that, Jared Goff has really gotten better. I feel like Jay Herb. People are always talking about Justin Herbert is bad. I feel like Justin Herbert is a decent quarterback. I feel like Justin Herbert just needs a defense for one, and then for two, I'm not gonna blame Justin Herbert for trying to. If you can say whatever you want to say about the playoff game, cool. Literally outside of Lad McCarkey, if I butcher his name, I'm messing up my own man's name. But if he only had Lad the entire year, I'm not gonna blame him because you got the other dude on the other side dropping passes. The dude from Mike Williams, I think he just retired and stuff like that. He ain't been the same. I'm not finna blame Jay Herb for trying to make something happen. Like at the end of the day, like if Justin Herbert had the same weapons that he had at Oregon, Justin Herbert would have been won a championship. Like period point blank. And at the end of the day, if they actually did anything with that defense, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, you got Derwin James and stuff like that, but they got more pieces leaving than they do, staying. And then they getting old in the front end, you know what I'm saying? Khalil Mack, then Joey, I think Joey left. So it's not you already old in the front end. You're not getting any real experience on the front end as well. And then, your back end can't stay healthy. So it's like that's the problem with the Chargers. But I feel like Jay Herb is getting his flowers at least with on through in this man's eyes or through but it says executive coaches and scouts. So he getting his flowers. I feel like he definitely deserves it. But the top four, let's get into it. To me personally, I think the list is more Pat Holmes, Lamar, Josh, Joe. And honestly and truly, the Josh and Joe can really be, flip flop. Like if you can, there's 3A, 3B in my opinion. But to be honest, like I'm going more so off accolades. But even what Josh Allen did last year, I felt like Lamar Jackson still had one of his better years. And it was like if we look in the playoffs, yeah, he had the fumble and all that stuff. Cool. But got them back in the game. They was winning and all that stuff. Defense started fumbling. And what happened? The man drove them down the field and made a dime of a pass. And what did his tight end do? It wasn't his fault. So at the end of the day, we could be talking about Lamar Jackson dynamic play, great comeback, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, is I don't know what type of curse they got in Baltimore, but to me, I just feel like they're right there on the door. Lamar is right there on the door. They just need to stop hurting themselves. If they stop hurting themselves, they win. They could be two-time, to be honest. If they didn't hurt themselves as much, they could have been one twice, in my opinion. Josh Allen, I definitely feel like he is, and I guess like I said, you can really say Josh Allen and Lamar are 2A, 2B in a sense, but at the same time, I just feel like yes, Josh Allen improved a lot last year. I just feel like Lamar is just a little bit better. That's just me. That's just me. But at the same time, Josh did have a great rushing stat last year, which is what I feel like a lot of people are looking at, which is good. So I'm glad that he's on the upward, trajectory, and he's also, not turning the ball over as much, which is a benefit to his team. So, you know, like I said, really those three, you can kind of really just toss them up and really just say, hey, this guy's better than this guy this year. This guy's better than that year. Pat Holmes is still tip top. You know what I'm saying? But I guess that list, honestly and truly, outside of the Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts, that's really the big controversy, to be honest. But the rest of that could really, honestly, be the same. I feel like, I agree, I agree. Outside of those few things, but the big thing that I really wanted to get into today, man, which is crazy because honestly and truly, you would have never really thought that we would have gotten to this point. You would have thought that they would have already been done with this, but that man Terry McLaurin asked for a trade. And honestly, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised because at the end of the day, that's your top wide receiver. That's your rookie quarterback's, protection. Basically, like when it comes down to throwing the ball, at the end of the day, he trusted Terry McLaurin. Clearly, out of all of his wide receivers, he trusted him the most. So for him to request a trade, for him to not be able to get a deal done with the Commanders and stuff like that, I just don't know what's really going on and how they're going to move now, especially with I don't really know how if you request like they don't have to trade you if you can bring that back. So I think he's just requesting it. But yeah, man, it's not looking good. And at the end of the day, like if Jaden Daniels doesn't have his top receiver, I just think that brings down the production, brings down where you're trying to get him to go because y'all were in the NFC Championship last year. And without your top wide receiver, it's gonna be hard to kind of get back to that. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for liking the videos, subscribing, and always leave comments. Let me know what you guys want to see. If you guys want to hop on a game or anything like that, please let me know, man. Thank y'all for watching, man. Peace.